What's happening right now is that I think we're at an inflection point where um, historically a lot of people have been using cash for all of their payments, but now they're starting to see the benefits of paying digitally. One of the most significant being building a credit record and getting access to credit for the first time. This is actually pretty incredible in a prepaid economy that sometimes takes things to extremes. So I don't know how many people know this, but if you're trying to rent a house in Nigeria, you're going to pay your rent a year upfront, sometimes 2 years. And we're moving from this type of environment into an environment that is starting to offer credit to consumers for the very first time. And this it seems to be one of the key drivers to the growth of digital payment methods, unlocking access to credit for an entire generation of hundreds of millions of people for the very first time. It took me a very long time to get comfortable with the idea of owning a credit card. And I finally have one today, but I pay it off every month. The idea of just like you owe somebody money and that somebody is an institution, I think it's a very foreign idea for a lot of Africans, but they're starting to get more comfortable with it. And secondly, you have the um, suitability of native payment methods for e-commerce. If you try to pay with mobile money online even 5 years ago in some of the most sophisticated mobile money markets like Ghana and Kenya, it was like an 8-step process with you having to copy reference codes and enter them into the checkout and very painful and cumbersome. So a lot of people just didn't bother with it. But now you have these very smooth checkout experiences for different types of APMs that sometimes involve less steps than entering in a card number. So this fundamental change in the behavioral economics of the payment methods is also driving the growth of these payment methods online. To cut a long story short, if you support local APMs, I think you definitely grow your addressable market in Africa. But there still is a fantastic opportunity to get started with just local cards alone, and I'll speak to that in a bit. If you see here, we have some select data of cards versus APMs in terms of market share. The key stats to remember here is that 46% of that 1.4 billion uh, population has already made a digital payment. And that's pretty exciting. There are some countries where APMs are obvious. So like Kenya, if you don't have M-Pesa, you can't really do e-commerce, whether you like it or not. This is just the reality of the market. We do see South Africa and Nigeria that have more appetite for cards, but still the preferred way of paying in all of these markets is with APMs. That being said, of the population that do pay with cards, there are a segment that are still excluded if you are only using cross-border rails.